Now, you had the honor of being part of the Band of Joy with Robert Plant, and I wanted to know how that collaboration or you being in the band came about, and what you took away from that experience personally and professionally.
Well, it came about through Buddy Miller, who produced that record for Robert, and then Buddy was to put together a studio band, and he chose me to be, the one of the four people. There was bass, drums, Buddy, and me, and then I fell to the multi-instrumentalist role there because that's what was there, and I love playing different instruments and stuff, and so that came about through Buddy. And then what I took away from the gig was, working with one of the greats at the top of the heap, which was Robert himself. But then Buddy also I see as a great,
yeah,
and Patty, for that matter. And so playing leads with Buddy Miller was a great treat. Where that was just musician to musician. That was a great thing I took away from that. And then to sing, in harmony style thing with Patty and Robert specifically was a really highlight kind of thing that I took away. So both of those things were fantastic to me.
Yeah, well, when as you were saying.
Well, the other thing is it was also having a front row seat to one of the great singers and artists of the last 40, 50 years. On Robert, he's a moving. I wouldn't say target, or shark doesn't sound right. Where a shark has to move through water and keep changing and keep moving the water around. That's the way I see Robert. He doesn't want to stay in Led Zeppelin for all of his days, and he doesn't want to stay with the Alison Krauss for all of his days, or even with the Band of Joy for all of his days.
Yeah.
So he moves around. His current band right now is absolute.
The Strange
killer.
Is that the Strange Sensation?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fantastic. I saw them in concert a couple times about 2 or 3 years ago. And to your point, there's a lot to be said about your career trajectory, and also what he's been doing is that you never want to be defined as one thing,
Yeah, and he keeps moving it. This current band of his is absolute amazing, and he's just still tearing it up, And I my hat's off to that notion of keep moving and keep walking into the things that inspire you and want to make you write or put albums together or go on tour with people. Keep finding fresh ways to do this, because we could assume that maybe Robert doesn't need to be doing this in terms of the money.
Yeah.
Let's assume that that's maybe true. So then what are the other reasons? Well, the reasons could be that he's drawn to new ways of expressing, that not really interested in what happened 5 years ago or 40 years ago, but what's happening now. And I think Robert is a shining example of that. And I hope to take some of that approach and apply it to myself as keep moving around and keep trying. I go back to the Steely Dan song, "Any World That I'm Welcome To."
Well, as you approach 60, do you see any rebirth in your thought process or outlook on life?
Well, to spend more time at home is part of it, and to where things don't have to feel so hard, out when working and stuff, like whether it's releasing records and did enough people know about it? Did we get enough ink? Did we get enough placement and radio play and all that kind of stuff? It just doesn't mean a whole lot. But the music does. But some of that placement savvy stuff is I'm pretty tired of it.
Yeah.
And so the things that don't require so much energy has interest to me as I start creeping in toward the 60 mark of stuff, of age.
Well, my final question is, what's it life creating music and performing and traveling the world? What's that taught you about what it means to be a human being?
Oh, it's how I have been a human being, is playing music. 'Cause I take my queries about being a human being and usually take them into song and music to try to understand that. So I write songs about divorce, or my kids growing older, or me growing older, or my parents who have died, or the shape of the country, or the shape of the country music, or those kinds of things I bring to music. It's my way of processing the world.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, I can't do one without the other, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
That is how I process the world, is through music. And it's what I bring to music, is how what I see and process about the world. And they're kind of mixed in there together.
Well, I thank you so much for talking with me today, Darrell. It was a real pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Garrett.
Yeah, I look forward to the